I remember when I got my first driver's license.
Is that Alan in his first car? Is that just an old picture of a car with someone in it? It's not Alan, is it? Although he's wearing glasses. What do you think? Not Alan. Could it be Alan? He looks a bit more ginger, doesn't he? Alan could have been ginger. When does he ever use his own word? Yeah. I just thought, because this is his own... This song's about his own life. And his own, you know, stuff. Yeah, I don't think it is Alan, is it? It'd been a banger if it was.
I was just 17. You know what I mean? So excited. I drove around my town.
These are just old pictures.
Pa's house.
I mean, he's got to be in this, surely. That's him at the bottom, isn't it?
Where's my grandma gone? She's gone.
Like, you'd like to think these are actually his pictures. For not, like, you can't be doing this with some other people's pictures, surely.
I was a bee's knees. I had a car, man.
That could be generic. Because he's not going to be walking with his friends. That's generic.
I had so many friends, such a big family. How could it ever change? From 9...
Are we saying Alan is in this picture or no? I'm saying no. What do you think? It's just not him, is it, in here? It seems weird to use somebody else's picture. Do you know what I mean? Why would you use somebody else's picture? Maybe that's his sister, you know, or a brother or something, but it doesn't look like him. That could be him on the left, though. No glasses. Don't you think maybe that could be him? Strange dress sense. There's two men and one woman. So either somebody's related, or it's weird to have, like, or you're just friends and you decided that you'd all stand close together, or maybe it's somebody's girlfriend and somebody who's not supposed to be touching their girlfriend stood really close to their girlfriend. This does, I don't feel it is him. Packing a bit of trouser snake as well. I don't think it is him.
1970.
So this picture, that's just definitely not him, is it? These people are from a foreign country and they've got, like, no shoes.
5.
Oh, that is a foreign country.
To now. I just can't imagine. I'll just drive around the same...
But that has to be Alan, surely. Like, how you can't have made this image and put, you really can't. It's like, you know, kid, old photo. Like,
same suburbs.
That must have been Alan. Like,
That's my grandpa's.
This must be the Allen family, the Vinicum family. It's got to be. Like, why you wouldn't put this photo up on the internet if it wasn't your family, would you? The Fritzl family.
House.
At the bottom,
Where's my grandma?
like, he's saying, where's my grandma? And this, like, you know, he's got to be one of these kids, isn't he? He's not going to be one of the older people. They would be his grandma and stuff like that. This lady is his grandma, I'm saying. She looks a bit like him. She's got the teeth. I think this is weird now. The fact that he's done this and what I'm doing with it is both things are weird. I just, you know, I'm watching his videos. It's come up. I'm interested. What do you reckon? Do you think that's his nan? Reverse Google search them. Oh, I don't know how. We'll have to do that another time because I'm very tired. It's after midnight and I don't exactly know how. What do I have to do? Screen grab it, put it in Google search. Okay, I'll try it. Just going to screen grab that image. Entire. I wonder if it'll work entire. And then reverse image search. Go to Google Images, click search by image, upload a file. Go to Google Images, click search by images, upload a file. Hacker. I'm a hacker. It's come up with stuff, but it's not the same thing. It's just visual matches that are old photos that look like groups of people. So that's not helped. You mean if that was a photo that already existed on the internet, it might have come up? I'm thinking that because it doesn't come up as something, you know, it's brought up this photograph of Sarah Ferguson. Like, it's a different photograph, but they're in the similar grouping. So that's what it's brought up. So I'm saying that this is not already on the internet, and that it's most likely that it actually is his family, yeah? Like, there's no way any of us would consider making a film like this using a family photo, talking about your own old grandparents and all these, and not use your old family photos. And in terms of making a piece of media, and remember, this is 2 years ago, Alan's been on the internet for a while, and he's not very good at this, and he doesn't have really good ideas. Like, showing my old photo album might seem like a good idea. You know, I've got these old photos out today during lockdown, and I thought I'd make a video with them. Hey, like, you know, he might have thought this was a good idea. And my actual guess now, thinking of it, is he might be this blonde one down here. I mean, that's Alan, isn't it? Does he have big ears? The other curious thing, there's two people in the back whose heads are cut off by the, you know, process of this edit, like, you know, because it pans in. You can just about, and there's one other person in the top right corner who's been cut off. So my guess is these people who are panned in and their heads got cut off are like second cousins, and they're not important to Alan. This will be grandma and granddad in the middle. That's how you arrange the photo. And then either side you'd have children of, wouldn't you? So these are sisters or cousins. This might be Alan's auntie or his mother. This woman over here is holding a baby. This man's holding a baby. So maybe these two are Alan's parents. And these are his, you know, somewhere here are his parents, his aunties and uncles, aren't they? Or maybe this woman sat behind, that's a bit like the mother. The grandmother's there, and sat behind could be her daughter. And maybe her kids are out in front here, because she doesn't have to hold them. You know, maybe that's mother and father there. This man doesn't look like it would be Alan's dad. There's definitely a family resemblance. I mean, this is definitely our family. Whether it's Alan's family or not, it's definitely not a family. These two have a family resemblance. This boy, you look at the hairline as well. Like, she's got the hairline. He's got the hairline quiffing. She's obviously got the same thing, but she has to struggle to get her fringe down. This woman's got much thicker, fuller, dark hair. This is the looker of the family. She looks like Reese Witherspoon. I wonder if that's Alan's mom. And then you consider these two. Like, they don't look like brothers necessarily, but they could be. This woman's at the far left. There's a woman sat basically on this man's lap, so that's one family. And they've got a young child. I mean, if that was Alan's mom there... Like, this lady here looks a little bit like him, or she's quite attractive, but like, you know, he wouldn't, if that was his family, he wouldn't look like his dad, but he'd look quite a lot like his mom, maybe. And that younger child between the two of them, maybe Alan's got competition, you know, he's got a young brother or sister, brother, because that looks like little Alan. That could be little Alan. That could be him, he could be the younger one. It's fun, this is, isn't it, in a way? Guess which one's Alan, guess which one's his mum and his dad is.
Where's my grandma gone? She's gone.
Or there is one final possibility,
Yes.
which is that this little girl on the right here might be a boy dressing as a girl, and that might be him, but I don't think it is. I get the feeling if he's showing us this picture, he wants us to see him, and that's why it's panning down. Obviously, it couldn't fit the whole picture in, so he's got this panning effect, and it's coming down.
Where's
And it's so that it's coming down towards this direction, so I'm thinking he might be this one. I mean, it could be this little one that's head's just about to pop
my
up,
grandma gone?
but then it's gone. So the main one in the centre as that fades, look, is this lad here in the middle here. With the glasses, the big ears. In the centre there. And that one looks more like the grandmother. Looks more like this lady. I'm saying that's like the line 1, 2, 3 in that direction. And so this will be Alan's dad up here. Next to his wife. Could that be an older brother?
My grandpa's house.
Where's Wally? Big ups, Nigel.
Where's my grandma gone? She's gone. Where's my grandma?
So that's the grandma, and that's not him. That might be his own daughter, and that might be her as a great-grandma. Maybe.
Oh, he's gone. What?
What's this? Who are these people? These weren't in the picture.
I guess that's what life is. I thought I'd write a song about you all, because you're all gone.
I thought I'd write a song about you all because you're gone. You didn't write this song, obviously. It's somebody else's song. You're just talking over it. That's an old picture.
Papa.
Not Alan's picture, just an old picture.
Drive past. We get 6 houses. Different times, not all the same time. We were poor. 6 houses, not at one. I drove past them all in the suburbs of my hometown. I can't see the people. I can just see the houses. Where have the people gone? Mama, Papa, gone? Can it?
Is it possible that you would put this picture in and it not be you? Yes, this is not Alan, is it? He's not those kids. Or is this Alan when he was younger, when he first had kids? Because he's been married like twice, hasn't he? Because that fellow, actually that man looks like the same man as in the picture with the, when there was a man and a girl and a boy, That looks like the same person who was in that picture with the man, the girl and the boy. It looks like the fellow who was on the left. I'm saying that's Alan and they're his kids. And they got taken in black and white when he was younger. Well, they might not be his kids, but I'm saying that's Alan. Oh, he's a narcissist, isn't he? Pictures of me. Can I go back a bit? How do you mean? Do you want to do reverse image searches yourself? I'll copy it into chat there for you so you can find the video easy. Because it gets cropped off a bit because of the way, you know, my screen goes.
The people, I can just see the houses. Where have the people gone? Mama, Papa, gone?
I'll try the reverse image search, but again, if you know, I'm screen grabbing it and I just don't expect it to bring anything out. Personally, I never have any luck with this. It always screenshots. It always just comes up with nonsense for me every time I do. Maybe I'm, you know, prejudiced because of that reason. Always seems to come up with nonsense for me. No results were found. There was an internal error, it said. If I do dark side Phil's face, it said internal error failed, no results found, and that's dark side Phil's face. I'm just saying the thing is about this photo is that that face very much resembles. Okay, so you've got that face, you've got that in your mind, yeah? Got that face, and it very much resembles this face. And it's almost like this is supposed to be his girlfriend, but this fella's also on his girlfriend. They recognise the street scenes. He would have taken photographs of where he grew up, Exeter then, maybe, yeah, but not. He would have gone on Google, you know. Maybe this is one of his old photos that he took once of the town centre, but this is just off Google, you know, Exeter 1930s or whatever, wherever it is in whatever time, off Google for sure. Like, you know, he's using memes here, so obviously they're not his actual photos. But that, I think, is.
Can it be? Can it be?
This is rubbish.
I still drive. Please.
Stop. That's obviously not his family.
I just can't get from that town.
I think maybe he just doesn't have many photos, so he thought this would be a good idea, and then he had some, like, you know, 3 or 4, and then he doesn't have any else to fill it.
The memories. I thought that was your family. You know, nothing's promised.
I mean, that I don't even think is his family. That looks like American. Like, that's definitely not his family. That looks like American. That's a tree. Somebody else's artistic edit of a tree.
Do you want to write well or write quickly?
This is full of copyright material he's just ripped off. Who are those old people? That could actually legit, like, you know, be his grandma and granddad, or it could just be anybody. What the fuck is this? Somebody is 2 years old. It's a colorized photo, or it's a color photograph. So it's not Alan when he's 2 years old, is it? Color photography. But that's not Alan and his 2-year-old. You know, maybe this could just be... Jamie says check Discord. Which bit? I find it really hard to navigate, really. It says new mentions, and now it's... Hang on. Every time I move the mouse to go to new mentions, it disappears general. Go to the now. think I've got loads of messages. Oh. No. You're better at this than me. Alan Johnson's autobiography. It's interesting it's called Alan. He's used photographs from off the internet. What does American look like? The difference was, and they look a bit American as well. The difference was, this man's got, and it might, be my misreading of the fashion of the time, but this man's glasses, they've got like a horn rim at the top, and like they're in two parts. Americans had access to a wider variety of textiles earlier on than we did, and more mass production. Like there was a bit more novelty in some of the dress, and I can't see the colours here, but the textiles themselves, like at the end of the war, people were asking GIs for stockings and stuff. The Americans had stuff we didn't. And the post-war period, there was a flourishing of consumer capitalism in both countries, England and America. But America went a bit more out there with fashion. And there was a lot of fashion explosion in England as well, but it was more like specific pockets like Carnaby Street in London and fashionable people. And your parents wouldn't have been fashionable and would have been wearing drab old textiles, and you would have been interested in the young cool stuff. But in America, it was a lot more like your parents would also have worn the young cool stuff. Like the more, I'm seeing like the textiles on the dress here, and his like polo shirt. The polo shirt's not so common in the UK at this time, I would have said. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misreading that. Maybe this, whatever time this is, I'm judging by the black and white photograph. We're talking 70s. Like I think the average man in the UK would have been slightly less fashionable, fashion conscious than that. Maybe I'm wrong. And the baby's got a pacifier, pacifier. There's a piano behind them, which I would say might be more English, might be more British, maybe. I just get the feeling, I just get the vibe out of that guy that it's more of an American look. That's what was doing it for me. The hairstyle's coiffed up to a bit of a bouffant, but there's not masses of facial hair. In the UK during this time, if you were a bit more of a styler, you would have had a bit more sideburns going on, maybe a moustache, from what I can remember. So that's why I think he's a bit more American as well. He's like a little more shaven, and you had things like electric razors, and whereas in England they were growing out their sideburns a bit more. It's fashion choices and things that I'm looking at that are saying that to me. And then with this other picture here that's colorized, I'm looking and I'm seeing, like, this is where I felt it looked a bit more British, because I'm seeing a sort of grey, like it's in colour, but I'm seeing a sort of grey-brown shirt with what's supposed to be a bit of a snazzy tie. This is an occasion, remember the 2-year-old's birthday, but a shirt and tie, and she's wearing what looks like a dress from the decade couple prior, much more drab and buttoned down. Like the textiles as well, this is cotton shirt, this is cotton dress, like not new modern and plastic nylon and stuff like that. The hair as well is coiffed here. I mean, it might be a different age, but this looks like a more modern photo, and yet her hair looks much more almost like 1940s inspired, hard rolled, coiffed. Yeah. The addition of the colourful top to the crowns is making me think it might be American though, because I don't remember us having elaborate crowns like that in the UK. But other than that, it looks like more. This looks more British for those reasons. I'm looking mainly at the dress code and the fashion choices, You see there again, I'd say the snazzy sunglasses. This choice of hat. This choice of hat. I think that looks more American than British. That's British, it's Butlins. But we know it's not Alan now. We know it's this writer and his photographs. What on earth would Alan, like, unless there's one or two mixed in, like what is Alan doing? And I suppose now I have to just concede that that family photo might not have been Alan at all. But what's he doing? Like, could you imagine if I made a video with all pictures and saying I went round my old nan's house and she wasn't there, but here's a picture of a nan. It's not my nan, it's just a nan. Kofi Annan. You think the hats look more British? Maybe. Maybe I'm just winging it. You know, yeah, maybe they can be British. Again, I'm referring to my impressions from what I've seen rather than having lived through it. So, like, my mum might completely contradict me and say, oh no, those hats were all the rage when I was young. I remember it. I don't remember it. I just, you know, I think more so on that first picture, the textiles and stuff makes sense. Less so on some of these other pictures. I might have just been winging it. So, yeah, fair enough. This is Butlins. Why on earth would you put these photographs of strangers in this video? It's so creepy and weird. That's definitely not his family. That's that same picture again. He's just totally run out of things to put in the video, hasn't he? He's even stopped talking. So now Alan's been going on the internet and he thought that's a nice picture of a little child in a bath. I'll use that. Or it's him. But most likely, that's a nice picture of a child in a bath. I'll use that. I'm surprised the narcissist wouldn't include photographs of himself. I included photographs of myself at the start of the Battery Exhausted, some of them. It was a little device I did. I said, hi, you're with Scott, this is Battery Exhausted, my channel. And so the photo would go, hi, you're with Scott, and it would be close in on me. This is Battery Exhausted, my channel. And it would pan out to show the thing that I was doing. So once it was my bike, like my cool bike, you know, I'm showing you my cool channel. And once it was a tower I'd built. And once I was dressed as Rocky for a fancy dress. So I might I could bring that back. All I do is just get a photograph and just put, hi, you're with Scott, and it's close up and it's and then this is my channel, and then when it zooms out you see the full scale of the picture, and whatever it is I'm showing you that's cool, that's what I've got. I got one when I was a kid with a pistol, like not a real gun, but you know, when you're a kid and you have like a toy gun and you're like, I've got my cool gun, you know, and there's a picture of me with my cool gun, you know, like when I'm feeling cool and I've got something cool and there's a photograph of me with it. I've got a few like that. Hi, you're with Scott, this is Battery Exhausted, my channel. And I could do it as a feature, but then I would run out of pictures eventually and I'd have to start taking new ones. That's savage. Somebody's wedding. Don't know who. Unless that really is Alan and it doesn't look like him. Imagine you didn't know in years to come that your wedding pictures would be used in Armchair Detective's emotional video. I need to go to the bathroom. Boy, who's that? There's a woman out of the catalogue. This one's got the copyright still written on it. We'll never know if his pictures are mixed in, but God help me, that is the worst. It's money for old rope, isn't it? You've gone on the internet and you've got some old pictures that you don't own. Some of them are definitely copyright because they said copyright on them. There's a possibility one or two like this could include you. Probably not this one. Again, American, look at what's on the wall. Like, we don't have those things on the wall in the UK. I don't even know what it is. It looks like some radio that's been affixed to the wall, or it might be air conditioning. That's not the UK. The Coca-Cola bottles, the Pepsi bottles, I think they're Pepsi bottles, not Coca-Cola. We would have had the Coca-Cola, but probably not the Pepsi. And the pumpkin and the table laid for Halloween. We don't have Halloween table cake. Maybe it's someone's birthday around that time of year, but it looks like you're having a Halloween party, which would be a much more American thing. I'm just seeing paper plates and stuff. I think this is American, so it's not Alan at all. And like, imagine the thing on the wall is a stereo. There you go. Imagine I decided, you know, people are watching my channel. I'm getting views from YouTube. So what I'll do is I'll go and I'll just get loads of photos off Google. It'll take me about 10 minutes. And then I'll get this music. And that the edit will literally take me seconds, because I'll just put all of them in on the timeline, all the pictures in, crossfade between all of them. There's the music, export that. It's got nothing to do with me and my life. It's money for old rope, this is. I think Alan just thinks people will watch things on his channel. So, you know, well, look at this. Why would you support him on Patreon after watching that? How would that compel you to pay for Patreon? Maybe he did that for the patrons because he was, you know, had nothing to give them, and he was, you know, due deadline date for a Patreon video. Big up screenshotting them. If you find out what they are, make a video about it and I'll watch it on the show. As long as it's decently edited. This is insane. It's 1 o'clock in the morning now, so I'm not going to do much more Alan and stuff, but I shouldn't say that because people are like, oh. And we're back. That was just Obs. He just had a freeze up. Is that what happened? I've been in 6 hours. Been over 6 hours. It happened at bang on 1 o'clock, so I sometimes wonder if it's time, something to do with the time, but I might have like caught an update or something. Searched. It's changed this for me. Look, this is weird because it's changed the window that we're looking at into that. That was weird. It glitched out on the window that we were looking at. But yeah, support me on Patreon. It says Armchair Detective. I have actually got a Patreon myself, but I don't encourage people to use it. If they still do, that's great. You know, it's a good system, but I got worried about not being able to offer the rewards and keeping up with it. So if people want to support it, that's good. And if they don't, then that's also good. There's other mechanisms. Like, I'm not pushing it, but I think I should. You know, I think I should get back on it and tidy it up and make some sort of offering. We're going to try doing the YouTube memberships in future. People seem to subscribe on Twitch, so I think I might do YouTube memberships in future. It seems like a sensible thing. You get like little badges and green names, and you know, you like that sort of thing. So this is blowing me away though. I'm surprised how fucking awful it is. When your life becomes a drive-by moment is the name of the video. And comments were turned off. This Armchair Detective Red channel is a fucking goldmine. He obviously started it up because he was binned off YouTube. And the videos there are just awful. They didn't get many views either. Discovery Files, Chris Watts didn't get many views. Discovery Files, Chris Watts, not many views. Chris Watts Body Cam, not many views. Weird that he wasn't putting the views. Because I thought any time he did Chris Watts, he pulled loads of views. So that's not what it is it? Because it's not getting the views. You know, I'm thinking it might have just simply been account of the fact that he was live on YouTube, where there weren't many other people live on YouTube at the time, maybe. Although these old live streams are not getting very many views. Maybe he just bought a load of views. Because he decided, you know, maybe he decided not to buy them on all the different channels. Maybe if his channel got closed down, he was scared to buy views on this channel in case it gets closed down. So he buys views on the blue channel, but not on the red channel in case it gets closed down, you know. This is the backup in case it gets closed down. If buying views and you get caught, you might get closed down, mightn't you? So he doesn't really get the views on this channel. On the red channel, which is really weird if you're getting loads of views on the blue channel and then it gets closed down and you start up a new channel. I know there's a bit of a stutter step, but loads of people should be like, oh my god, he started a new channel, I found him again, great. You know, 10 days went by and where was he? There should be even more hype for you coming back. But no, these don't get views, the live streams don't. On red.